What's up, folks? It's your boy Bob Hollywood back with another exciting review. Today's retro review is going to be of this Coneheads figure. The name of the figure, is Agent Seedling. Now, I have seen the Conehead movies. I want to say there are two. Maybe there's one. I hope there's two, or else I'm going to be utterly embarrassed. But I haven't seen it in forever, so I can't tell you anything about it other than of this line. This INS Agent Seedling is the only human in the line. The rest of the Coneheads, I have all six of these figures. You might have seen me do a what's in the box earlier this month that featured me opening the box that they came in. And yeah, I'm gonna get through all of these. This is just the first of six figures that I'm gonna do. I'm looking forward to all of them, especially the Coneheads in their human outfits. So this figure is by Playmates. As you can see, it has a barcode there, and this was manufactured in the year 1993. So this figure is 31 years old. Well, 31 years this Agent Seedling has been in his plastic prison. As you can see, there is a sticker from a store, and this is at $1.98. I think I bought the six figures for like 80 bucks. So a bit of a markup due to time, especially since this was marked down when somebody bought this. So I don't know what this originally retailed at, but they bought this right before Christmas of whatever year for $2, which is a steal. Like, most people would buy a $2 toy, even if they think they can flip it in the future. Or, somebody might buy this and say, or not this particularly, but somebody might have bought a figure for $2. I'm like, oh, my kid will love this. A gift is a gift. Some people can't afford $25 figures. Most people can't afford $25 figures. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and bust him out of his plastic prison. Normally I would cut away, but since this doesn't require any tools, I can easily do it. And he has what looks like a translator. So I guess the Coneheads, they speak their language. And this is for humans to be able to decipher. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe they can use it for their own translation of things into English. But either way, it also has a base with the name Seedling on it. And I am familiar with the actor who plays Agent Seedling. I've seen him in a million things. But I cannot think of his name, and I wouldn't have known it was him if it wasn't for the back of the box when I saw the picture. Because again, haven't seen this movie in forever, and when I did see this movie, I didn't know who the actor was. So here's Agent Seedling. He's about a 5-inch figure. I wouldn't imagine being any taller than 5. He's less than 5. He's at like 4 3/4, just about. So yeah, this is a figure typical of the 90s. We didn't have a lot of 6-inch figures back then. If they were, I think they were more like McFarland or other brands like that. Before we go further into the main event, we're going to look at his accessories. Again, he has this base that says his name. I don't know what this logo means. I don't know if it's for him specifically, if it's the INS logo, or if it's the Coneheads logo. I don't know. But it has a peg on there. Both of his feet have holes. So he could stand on there like that. Unfortunately, the placement of the peg, it's not like he can stand on it directly like that. He's always going to be off center. But I don't plan on using this base. I'm going to put that in a box with other bases. And he also has this revolver. Black revolver. It's just one piece. It's just molded in black. It looks pretty good. We're going to see how it fits in his hand. And I'm just going to be using his right hand here. But both of his hands, and we'll go over that, can hold it. Now, unfortunately, the way his hand is molded or sculpted, he can't put his hand on the trigger. He can't hold it any better than that, which is cool, which is fine. I'm just highlighting it. Put him back down for a second. He also has a bullhorn, so he can scream and shout at folks like, come out with your hands in the air, or, suicide prevention. It's all necessary sometimes. And he holds that just the same. And his final accessory, and I don't know what this is. It looks like a horseshoe with an antenna. As soon as I show it off to you a bit, I'm going to pick up the packaging and we'll see what it says. It looks like it could go on his wrist. It's a control collar. It keeps Seedling on a leash like a domesticated furry animal. And I'm looking at the base. It's also the moons of Meepzor, which is the Coneheads planet. So I'm assuming that symbol is for all of the Conehead figures. So it's a control collar. And I can't remember if it went on their necks like this. And I don't think it's supposed to go. It's not supposed to go on him. I think it comes with him because he's the agent. But we'll have to keep that in mind when I review the other figures in the line. And because maybe we'll see if it fits on any of them. Let's look at the translator, or translation card. So cone to English. So yeah, this is for people to understand what the cones are saying. I'm not going to read everything, but I'm going to make it visible for you to see. But the first one says core plat, which means in a minute. So I'll be right there in the core plat, I assume. Let's go all the way down to Zitroi, which means goodbye. So that might have to be my my greeting, or the opposite of greeting. I can't think of words right now, but that might have to be what I say when I exit this video going forward. And there's nothing on the back. So again, Agent Seedling, let's look at him. Let's give him a look. He has a, I saw that when I was taking him out of the plastic. And that's just a holdover from being in that plastic prison again for 31 years. And he has a jacket. It looks like it is a bluish gray. His pants are gray. He has a tie with some painting on it. White shirt. He just looks like a businessman. Like, he could be a police officer, or he could just be a businessman who's trying to get out of, or, you know, dress for the weather, the elements. It could be windy. It looks like his tie is windswept. But yeah, he has some options. Again, I'm going to put him with my cop figures. There's this dark spot right here that doesn't seem to be changing. So that's also where that piece of tape or plastic was. But he's a decent sculpt. I mean, he's not, it's a 5 points of articulation figure if his head will turn. Let's go over his articulation. It doesn't seem that his head wants to rotate. It looks like it should, but he might just be stiff again from all those years of imprisonment. His arms rotate 360 at the shoulder. That's 2 points of articulation. And then his legs will kick out like that. They're not going to go back at all. You could probably even hear when it went back and hit the back of his jacket. Yeah, you can hear that. This is obviously very hard plastic. All this is very hard. And that's his articulation. He has 4 points of articulation. Maybe 5, but again, I'm not getting anything from that head. I'm going to raise my camera up here so we can do some comparisons. And unfortunately, with him being the first Conehead figure that I am opening, I'm going to be comparing him to the regular review crew. Going forward, I might compare him to his Conehead cohorts. So our first, and you guys should be pleased to know I finally learned his name. First comparison is going to be Lucio, and Lucio probably feels good because he is taller than someone. I think Lucio is the smallest member of the review crew. And then next to him is going to be the largest member of the review crew, Titus O'Neil. As you can see, he is almost half the size of Titus O'Neil. Again, 7-inch figure, 6-inch figure, 5-inch figure. So they're not in the same scales, but they're going to live in the same world. That's what we do at Melodramatic Plastic and Bob's Holly World. Next, we're going to do the real king of Wakanda, Eric Killmonger, and probably the most peg-warmingest G.I. Joe classified figure, Roadblock. Again, both figures tower over him as they should. 2 different lines, 2 different scales. These are 6-inch figures. Next, we're going to do a Red Ranger and John Bones Jones. And you know, the crazy thing is, Power Rangers, I think, was a thing in '93. I don't remember when it started, but this is obviously a much more modern interpretation of the brand. Again, they're much taller than him. And there's not going to be any confusion. Again, he's being compared to the review crew. They're all 6- and 7-inch scale figures. They're all going to be taller than him, but I feel like I have to do this. Now, if you want to see me compare with different figures or different lines, just let me know. I can always do something different going forward. I'm here to grow this channel, so that means adapting and evolving. I do love the review crew, but we're not attached to the hip. There's Andra from He-Man Masterverse, or Masters of the Universe Masterverse, and wow, I am drawing a blank right now. Vixen, I could not think of her name. I couldn't think of the brand. Again, they're much taller than this guy. And for our final comparison, before I hit you guys with the Zitroi, is going to be Winston Zeddemore and Landau Calrissian. I'm getting old, guys. I'm just drawing brain farts as if that was a thing to do. And again, he's much shorter than them, more cartoony than them, despite this being a real person just like them. You can see the technology wasn't the same. Almost everybody in the review crew is a real person except for Roadblock and Vixen. It doesn't matter. Anyway, that's this guy. Got you his height. They got you his articulation. Went over his little details. I think for a 5.5-inch figure from 31 years ago, this guy looks cool. Will he fit into the pegs? He'll fit into the pegs of the construction here. So he's fine. Again, somebody bought this for $2, if that much, man. I could have. I don't know if they had like stores with like super bargains where that's not the name of a store, but where it's like you buy stuff by the pound or stuff like that. They could have gotten it for even cheaper. But anyway, folks, I need you to do me a favor. 3 favors, really. I need you to, I guess it's 4 favors. I gotta learn how to count one of these days. I need you to like this video, if you like this video, or if you watched it. I need you to comment what you'd like me to see doing going forward with the channel, and I'd like you to also subscribe. I need subscribers. I need subscribers. That's the point of me doing this. I don't expect to get rich off YouTube, but I would like to reach more people and have a bigger audience. So if you like toys, if you know anyone who likes toys, tell them to come look at your boy Bob Hollywood. Tell them to come to melodramatic plastic. So, and the final thing I need you to do is to always love yourself and love the people around you. It might not be easy sometimes to love either of those groupings, but it's for the best ultimately. If you take the time to love yourself, then you can love other people, and the love will come back to you, and the world will love you. Other than that, I'm gonna pick up our little conehead thing, and I'm gonna say "zile-toi," which again means goodbye in their language. And remember, action figures speak louder than words.